What's good, YouTube, and welcome to the house. We'll get into that ban list hype in just a second. Calm down for just a bit. I know it's going crazy, but Savage Strike presale prices are here from Tier 0, and they're blowing everybody out of the water as usual. So I don't know if some of these are more realistic prices, but like Yu-Gi-Oh! Singles, they tend to set the trends, and they've started off with a little bit cheaper, but not much on Pot of Indulgence / Extravagance at the $67 mark. Remember, 5% is actually a lot off these bigger cards. We've got Fantastical Dragon Phantasmi Thanos Dragon over here towards 50. It was cheaper, I think, before, but they've sold a lot of them. Psychic Wielder towards $25. That's about market price so far. And Witch's Strike at $23. This is why I love this sponsor. They look at their entire product spread and decide where they can make a profit, and they don't just bump things up because it's going crazy on the market. We see 43, 47 towards 50. Like, it's pretty crazy when we look through and see the pricing on Witch's Strike as it comes into eBay, and people were trying to get $70 on it yesterday on TCG Player, and I think it's still very up there. Yeah, real nice, isn't it? So, huge shout-outs to my sponsors. Thank you for being like this. Thank you for not conforming. And they'll probably sell out pretty soon of those. Add on to your order stuff like Borolo Dragon, etc. Get together with your teammates, basically. And they've just got cheaper cards than most everywhere so far. Really nice. I think the second page is already where we get down to, like, the $/30 range, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 60 cents. We're down past $1 already on their second page. So you want cheap stuff? Tier0.com's got you. Looking around, it is just a bit cheaper than eBay for their Pot of Extravagances. Anything you're pretty much ordering it all. Although Psychic Wielder is going down pretty fast. I still think this is the underestimated card of the sneak peek weekend. Of, like, something that's gonna start out cheap and pop up. But hey, I could be wrong. I've been wrong. And really nice to see this non-secret rare, Borolo, go for under 20 so far. This is very, very nice. I would get here sooner than later as the competitive season ramps up towards the WCQ. This will be highly in demand, and it is just amazing. Now let's hop on over to that ban list hype. Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. I did not realize this is kind of an indirect hit against Sky Strikers. You're putting something in the main monster zone, shutting off almost all of their responses until you deal with that card yourself, allowing you to kind of just pick off their back row in the meantime. $10, not the most surprising with it at 3. I think the highest price we'd seen before was more towards $5. You'll see independent sellers just want to make a fast sale right now versus that initial fallout price, and we'll see where it really settles. How many people are going to truly be playing the Kaiju engine, really putting that in their deck as their form of clearance? Well, BA definitely got a bit of a boost from this card being at 3, in my opinion. They thrive off it the most, and we look towards decks like Sky Striker, like I said, it hurts, but not the best card against Thunder Dragons, is it? When they can kind of just survive this clash. So I'm a bit back and forth on it, but maybe this is the move to make the new Kaiju see play, because that card is pretty dang good if you're actually pulling it off. So Mecha King Ghidorah is actually something to consider because of this card being at 3. The more it's played, the better that card gets. Sky Strikers missed the listy. Well, there was an indirect hit to them with Kaiju Slumber and also Eradicator. Eradicator is a huge boost to Thunder Dragons. We'll get into that later in Market Watch. But Sky Striker Mobilize Engage here. People are finally feeling, hey, this is safe. It headed straight towards that $60 point. It's barely under, and it's still 60 over here. And I think most of these are foreign ones, which is actually kind of nice, but they're light play. Let's see where the near mints landed on TCG Player, and then come back to stuff like Widowinker. Come on. We gonna load today, TCG Player? I'm sure the traffic is so freaking heavy on TCG Player due to the FNL list. But yeah, I imagine it's towards that $60 mark. Yeah, just about. Makes sense. First editions, unlimiteds. People are just trying to make those sales and get rid of it, offload it. They've been waiting for it to go back up. So you'll find competitive pricing throughout the next couple of weeks, despite this being one of the best decks. A lot of people think it's the best deck moving forward, but again, Thunder Dragons did get a boost, and they're kind of the natural enemy here. we'll see how it unfolds, but definitely much stronger than the OCG's version as we head towards that Soul Burner structure deck. And hey, Afterburner's still really cheap, and those tokens even cheaper. I like everything about this. This is pretty nice, except for, you know, having to pay more for this engine if you've been waiting, but I think you should have had it when it bottomed out. The ban list, of course, drives that fear, and I understand why you wouldn't have picked it up, so think about it for the WCQ, but there are plenty of other options and budget options coming. Necros of Bionic, huh? $60, just because you're at 3. I understand you want to play Necros within the 2 months for waiting on dual power, but don't pay $60. Just think about it. Ultra reprints are coming. How much will the secret really hold price versus that? Chill out. Don't get 100. This ain't Necros format. We're not paying $180 for a playset on this. Please, chill out. Just remember, reprints are coming for all of this, and that it's not a necessity right now. I'm sure all the Necros listers are just clapping and so happy that you were buying their cards. But man, I get it. You want to play the deck. You love the deck. Events are coming. The incantations are cool. Just wait till dual power if you can hold off. If this is somehow your WCQ deck, dual powers in April, you can chill, playtest it with proxies. Don't give in. Don't throw your money at the screen. Just take care of yourself and know that budget versions, comparatively to these, are coming in a product that has so many amazing cards. So it's likely that these won't have the worst of prices unless one of them gets short printed. El Shaddai Construct, huh? That's gonna be the ulti, of course, still towards 35 for emblems, and first eds are gonna be ridiculous. We got the ultra rares actually not budging too much at all, which is nice. So if you want to get yours, you think the Shaddai engine's the new invoked engine, but is actually gonna be played, it's actually relatively cheap to still get a lot of this. Noitilis going way up though. Hey, your anti-Necros card for the Necros buyout. This ain't 2015, 2016. Come on. But it's pretty funny to see some of the buyouts and some of the hype go with this. Just kind of pick and choose. Shaddai Fusions, I think, are still relatively cheap overall. Yeah, the secret rares are towards $2. Get these sooner than later. I think the Shaddai Fusions in general will start to get harder to get, so make sure you have your set. Don't get caught with your pants down not having these if you've been getting the rest of the pieces together. Like, why would you avoid the budget piece before it spikes kind of thing? Just be careful, you know? Be careful when you're buying out during hype season. Eradicator Epidemic Virus. Thank God we have a holo version that is so gosh dang cheap that you guys can go find and get if you're buying other things from these sellers. And the first ed secret towards $60, huh? And completely gone over here. My opinion on this: this is a huge buff to Thunder Dragons. They could care less that they lost those 2 Gold Sarks. Allure is better than having Gold Sark in the first place whenever you're trying to pop off with Thunder Dragons. This card is freaking scary. This is anti-Altergeist. This is anti-Sky Striker. This just leveled the playing field on the 2 decks that didn't get hit, and wow, is this insane against them. So you just got the most amazing going first options against them, especially for games 2 and 3. When you're 100%, you have Trap Trick at 3, which makes you play 6 copies of this, and you can also toss in some Sanctums and completely shut off extra decks. You see where I'm getting with this? This is crazy for how consistently they throw it on board. And also, I've been hearing from you guys, I've been hearing from all of you that are going to be playing Orcust. Yeah, this is pretty dang good in Orcust too, or anything. The PK is putting, you know, some big boys on board, linking up into Topological Bomber Dragon is an option too. Like, any deck that can just link into Bomber Dragon has, you know, the ability to just activate this card. All you need is a Dark Monster with 2,500 or more attack, and you choose spell or trap cards, and then you get rid of all of those that you called. It's insane. It is crazy. I don't know how the game is going to be. I was like, for Layer to be good, you needed this card at 3 in the first place. I didn't think the Mad Lads would freaking do it at Konami, and here we are. Monarch Storm 4th has cheap holo options. You have both the ultra rare and the super rare looking pretty fresh and still extremely budget. So if you want your copies of Storm 4th, I hear that's pretty good in Cosmo, but I'm also thinking True Draco. You might want to get your holo version sooner than later while it's extremely budget before it's like $1, $2, which, you know, still budget. There's going to be the common version, the gold version. There's all sorts of ways to play this card. And the final buyout that I've been looking at, Insector Hornet, still pretty accessible overall. There's going to be a lot of copies, a lot of sellers who are waiting for this, and what's that meme? It's like 99 Hornets are swarming, like those good old 100-step combos be back. I don't know about that one, but it is interesting to see it back, and I want to see what it's capable of. It's going to be a little scary, actually, what people come up with this at 3. But thanks so much for watching. I know I got pretty insane last night for those 700 of y'all that joined the live stream. Thank you so much, and for putting up with Drunk John. I'm actually not going to drink again until I hit my weight goal of 250, so my tolerance will take an even further nosedive, but I think it's an appropriate celebration and a pretty good restriction for the diet. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and let me know what you think of this crazy ban list market, as well as this kind of crazy sneak peek market where, thank gosh, we have tier 0 coming in with these kinds of prices. Thanks for watching, everybody.